Packers are
Went right
crushed.
out the window.
So, Dan, let's move on and talk about the game that you watched so tentatively, and that is the Rams and the Lions game that resulted in a score of 41-34. So, what were your takeaways from this game?
My takeaways from this game was as follows. Okay. One, Devontae Adams, Puka are being used at 100%, 25-8. You know what that does? You're going to burn these dudes out before you even get to the second round of the playoffs. You know what's crazy on the screen? It just showed up right now. Notable injuries, Devontae Adams with a hamstring. It's because this dude's running at 100 horsepower 100% of the time. And this is what I mean, guys. I feel like ever since the Rams got two basically number one receivers, they are full throttling this offense, which is like, yo, you're hitting towards the end of the line, right? And I understand you're playing the Lions, and I understand that what's it called? Like this is a statement game. Like you want to make sure you're ready for the playoffs. Brian Branch, what's it called? Yeah, Branch and Kirby Joseph were out this game. I feel like there were a lot of, for example, Colby Parkinson was used a lot this game.
Yeah, they. I
That
feel like they
I don't,
used a lot of other pieces besides Adams and Puka.
100% yes, but that's where I guess for me those injuries that they've had, it's like you're using these guys to as like you're like yo, all eyes on him. Everybody needs to focus on my these two shiny weapons right here. You know what I mean? Allowing Kyron to blow up, Corum to blow up, Parkinson to blow up. Like, and first of all, I don't know if you saw in the game there was an actual catch that Parkinson had. It was about a 26-yard pass to the end zone, right on the
And it
corner
looked
at the first
short,
at the
right?
front pylon. That looked short, did it not?
Yeah.
And Scotty, I'm gonna ask, right?
Hmm.
When has there ever been the rule that as you catch it and you don't have full possession of it
Hmm.
as you're going to the ground, and then he gained full possession when he got into the end zone, but Scotty, by the time he got full possession, his shoulder was on the out. His shoulder was on, what's it called, the sideline in the end zone.
Yeah. So you're saying his shoulder was out of bounds by the time he
So
gained
his shoulder was out
possession?
of bounds.
Yeah.
So I'm
So
in my mind.
so it's on the refs to make the judgment call if when he gained possession was before he went out of bounds. But I was saying that to my friends because I was like, hey, it looks like he's short. I don't know if and when he caught it, I can't see because his other arm was like in the way, and maybe the other guy's leg or something. It was tough to see. I didn't get quite the view of where his shoulder was by the time he gained full possession. I never got that full view, so I really can't say for sure. But it definitely looked short. But the rule is that until you gain full possession, you haven't caught it yet. So you're
Exactly.
not touched down anywhere. You're not say he's bobbling it until he gets into the end zone, then he catches it. Then yeah, that's a touchdown. But yeah, it looked like a very short. It looked like it
Either he
was
was
about a
short
yard
or he
short
was
at
out of
least.
bounds.
By the time he first touched the ball, he was like a yard short. And
I
then and
agree.
then it looked like he kind of went into the end zone. So I was like, oh, was he like bobbling it? And you can never really tell. So it was a really weird play. But they
And I
also
feel like as a ref to just give it to them, right? And because this game was one touchdown short. For like it was like if they didn't have that, it'd be overtime right now. So it's like every play is crucial, and I feel like that play itself was way too hard to overturn to
yeah.
go or what's like yeah to overturn and be like, oh yeah, that's a touchdown. It's like,
Well, it was originally called a touchdown. I think that
oh,
was
my
the
fault, my fault,
that
my
was the
fault, my
that
fault.
was the problem. Is it was like
That's
they couldn't prove that like he had possession at one point before he was in the end zone. So they were like, I guess that's a touchdown. Like that was
yeah,
like
exactly,
like I can't really like say it wasn't. So it was definitely weird for sure. Yeah, I
for
I
sure.
agree with that.
So
But
I feel like, but hey, they gave it to them. Another thing that I noticed, Goff was completely poised in this game, even though he was getting blitzed a lot. That is one thing I noticed is one, when Jared Goff is outside, I said it to you, Scotty, he's absolute freaking dog water. I'm sorry.
mhm,
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
and he feels chilly, he gonna be ice cold all night. And when you start blitzing him and he gets flustered, he starts to like, I guess you could say, make some errors, but being in that like closed environment up in SoFi, like he was able to hit Amon Ra for so many
Yeah.
like on the money deep balls like this game, and it was like it was amazing. JMO being active, everybody on
Yeah.
the team, I feel like it was extremely active. But one thing the Rams went for, which is a really big key factor, is shutting down Jameer Gibbs. Montgomery was going off. Montgomery was making what's it called? 5 yards, 5 yards, 6 yards. He was getting like really big, heavy runs. But like the what's it called? An analyst said it before the game started that they're 8-0 when Gibbs gets a touchdown, and they're 0-5 when he doesn't.
Right.
So it's almost like McVay took that and was like, I
Bet.
don't care who touches the ball, he's not getting the rock. And
Right.
we're making sure he gets shut down. And they shut him down, low key. Like he was only able to go and get what was it, 18 yards rushing today?
The
No, 38 yards rushing. My fault. 38 rushing and 50 and 20 receiving.
Monty was much more efficient.
I agree.
7 for 32.
And you would think for some like at least one year backs being more efficient, you could see that it doesn't really matter. I guess in this case where Gibbs only got 58 yards today, both in the air and on the ground. So my true big takeaway is the Rams are pretty complete, but they are one injury away from not really going far, which is what's crazy because I feel like a lot of teams are like that. There's no,
I was gonna say, I feel like you could say about a lot of teams. So
yeah, you can say that about a lot of teams 100%. But I feel like even though out of all teams, I would say that if they started obtaining injuries, like, how do I say, like if the Eagles, right? And I say this, of course, with like a grain of salt. For example, like the Eagles losing Lane Johnson, we were able to still like adapt and adjust and all that stuff. And we'll get into the Eagles game later. Of course, I'll give my deeper take about that. But for the Rams, in this case, I feel like they were able to like adjust with any of the weapons that they had that were going on. When either Puka when he was hurt, when Devontae got hurt for a little bit, and they had to adjust things. Stafford, I think, was a really good piece to be able to make the offense still fluid and like function properly, like they should have. And also giving that the Rams defense is literally letting up way too many points. I feel like per game. It's like the Rams defense. I'm scared that they will be the reason that they can't go far
I was a little
because
surprised in this
it's
game.
almost similar to how I know we always say with the Cowboys, for example, how Dak will put up a monstrous, however many, like 30-point game, but then they'll lose by 38.
Yeah.
And it's because you're banking that your defense can make the necessary stops.
And I feel like they haven't been like really an issue, but at least in, this game, it was like obvious that they had no answer with their corners for Jamison Williams, Amon Ra. As their defense is selling out to stop Gibbs, it's like you can't, you're leaving these guys one on one with not much help elsewhere, and maybe even running man. And Amon Ra is able to catch and run. JMO gets open deep for the touchdown. Like, I do feel like the weakness of the Rams is similar to the Packers, where it's like it's the corners. It's and that's a lot of teams, right? Like corners such a hard
Uh-huh.
position. Um, but they really have. It was what had cost them in the Eagles game. And then they lost to the 49ers, and they couldn't really keep up with Juwan Jennings, I think it was in that game.
Yep.
So yeah, that is their flaw. But I mean, I would just say, having 70 plus yards from five different offensive players would tell me that they're doing. I mean, against at least this Lions team, they're doing whatever they want. They're taking what's there. Parkinson's definitely not the primary read. I would imagine he ends up 575 and two touchdowns. Like
Yep.
Corum and Kyron both had 70 rushing yards. Like that's the biggest thing for me. They ran the ball better than the Lions did.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
And that's why they
That is
won
true.
because they had 160 combined rushing yards. So it was
But
overall,
also, I feel like the presence of the Lions defense today was just not there. Like I remember seeing one of them when they rolled out, um, and what was it? What's it called? Quorum ran to the outside to the sideline and basically just took it up. And it was like, yo, there's so much space
Yeah.
for that man to run. I'm talking about like that, and the left tackle didn't even look like he crashed that hard. It was that the linebacker went and made the wrong read and was in the wrong gap.
Yeah. And
So
so he was too far inside.
so that he was
Yeah.
too far, he couldn't get the angle, and he was gone.
Right. Yeah. And the Lions defense, this is now the second year in a row where it seems like they suffered like a dozen injuries, and Aiden
And
Hutchinson's
now
still
it's
out
starting to be
there.
experience.
Aiden Hutchinson had a really nice interception in this game, but
I
it's like
agree.
it's not enough to just get like 3 to 5 big plays on defense and then let up for the whole rest of the game. Like, and I guess this kind of leads into my question: is the line are the Lions going to miss the playoffs? Because currently they're not in it. They're 8 and
Yep.
6. They're a game and a half behind the Packers, who sit at 9-4-1, and the Packers just suffered all these devastating injuries. So, like, what is your take on, the because right now the Bears hold first place, like I
Yep.
said, at 10-4. So, do you think the Lions are going to be able to take away that playoff spot from the Packers, or do you think maybe the 49ers, who are 10-4, or the Seahawks, who are 11-3, do you think
Sorry,
they're
I'll
gonna fall?
I'll rephrase the question more like,
Hmm.
do I think the Lions are gonna take it, or are the Packers gonna give it to the Lions because they can't keep up losing two key parts to an offensive piece and a defensive piece? That because if I'm correct, right, the Packers play the Bears again later
Yeah,
in the season, and you know damn well they're coming for some money
next week.
for them. Yeah, so coming up for the Packers, they got some pretty big games, if I remember correctly, when you discussed it with me about what their schedule is going to
I
be looking
got
like.
you. Chicago, Baltimore, Minnesota. So
And
two tougher games, but I would say in descending order of difficulty.
I agree, because the Vikings they should go and win that one,
Yeah, but the
100%.
Ravens, I don't
But the
know. The
Ravens
Bears,
with the how,
the
you know
Bears
what I
were
mean,
the
and it's
Bears
in
were throw away.
Chicago.
Yeah, and it's at you're right. It's at Chicago. So yeah, you're thinking that they're gonna give it away to the Lions.
Yo, there's a chance.
There's a
I'll be the
chance.
first to make that crazy bold take, but I think the Lions, even though they lost today, the Lions coming up in their schedule is going to be what's it called? The Steelers, the Vikings, and then the Bears at the end at Chicago. So this Pittsburgh game, assuming everything goes well, I will go and give that probably more to the Lions. Definitely for sure. This game. The Vikings at Minnesota, I don't know what it is, okay? It is a 50-50 ball when the Lions play at Minnesota.
Yeah, for some
And that's
reason
for some reason.
they should definitely win, but there's
They
like
need they literally cannot lose that game.
yeah, they can't lose that one.
They lose that game,
If
my
the
whole take is
Packers,
gone.
if the Packers can't lose that one, then neither can the Lions. They both get a win, so there's two
So
games left.
basically they go
They
what's it
both
called?
play Chicago.
And then they both play Chicago. And right now I will go and have more faith in the Lions playing Chicago the way they are rather than
The
the
Packers,
Packers
yeah,
in this new state against the Bears.
yeah. The Lions spanked them the first time around, 52-21, and the Packers barely beat them when they were pretty much fully healthy and
Exactly.
roaring, and now they're crippled compared to what they were before. So I'm not gonna. For me, I guess I have to answer the question now because I wrote it down
Exactly.
and I didn't give an answer yet. Uh, yeah, I actually kind of feel sort of worried, but the thing is the Lions have to get 2 games, on this Packers team. They gotta get one win ahead so that they're a game behind. So they pretty much need the Packers to lose both against the Ravens and against the Bears, and then the Lions need to sweep. So I think the Lions can sweep Pittsburgh, Minnesota, Chicago. Are the Packers going to lose to both the Ravens and the Bears? I don't know.
I don't know.
I feel like
But
they
I could
won't.
see it
I
with
feel like they.
especially with how I feel like the Ravens picked up
Yeah,
the
I know,
pace with the
but I
Bengals.
feel like the Ravens and the Packers are like in the same spot. Not the same exact spot, but the Ravens are like they're getting hot, but like they beat the Bengals and like 2 weeks before that they had 5 turnovers and lost to that team. With the Packers, yeah, they're crippled now. They should be worse
But I
now.
will say the Packers taking those two L's put them exactly where the Ravens are now.
What do you mean?
What do I mean by that is for example, right? Like I feel like the Ravens' confidence and play style is not as poised and confident that like it's been for years. For example, like they haven't really found like the mojo. And guess what? Today started with like Derrick Henry finally getting big runs against them. But guess what also happened? Like the Bengals defense was also all over Lamar today. Like so it's like we always talk about how horrible this Bengals defense is, and they were able to turn up for a little bit there to like stop Lamar. It's just that Joe Burrow could not get anything started today to get this offense rolling in a scoring position. I understand T. Higgins was hurt, but I would think Jamar Chase could also do it with himself. You know what I
The
mean?
Bengals seemingly have just given up.
Exactly. It almost seems like that, right? So it's like for a team that's given up, and you would not think that they would have been as effective in stopping Lamar for how long they did. And like the Ravens would have to find their mojo to really get started with scoring. Because in the beginning, the game was a little slow.
It was slow, and Henry wasn't going early on. I felt like he started going in the second half because
In
like
the second
Lamar,
half,
Lamar
exactly.
had a
Yeah.
couple passing touchdowns. I forget who the first guy was, but it wasn't someone I normally recognize. It looked like a running back, but I don't think it was Keaton Mitchell. And then they had
No,
one
it
to
was.
Zay, and then uh, they obviously they were ahead of the whole time because the
I know it
Bengals got
began with
shut
an
out.
A. I don't remember the name.
Yeah,
It was like Ali. It was yeah,
yeah.
something like
It
that.
was it was a it was a it was a lower string guy for sure. But I don't know. I don't know that the Packers get swept by, that bunch right there of Bears Ravens. I don't think I would bet on it to happen. I think they're both going to beat the Vikings. So I'm going to say that the Lions are going to miss the playoffs because I don't really foresee the 49ers or Seahawks slipping out either. So I would assume outside of the Buccaneers and Panthers fighting for first place in the NFC South that we pretty much have our playoff teams at the very least locked up in the NFC side. So that's my answer. And I guess now we should move on to our third biggest game of the week, and that is Bills Patriots. This was a game that there was a lot riding on. Dan, did you also pick the Bills with me to win this game?
I did.
I'm pretty sure you did.
I
And
did.
it was a pretty insane game. Early on, it looked like the Patriots were just going to completely dominate this Bills team, and to be honest, that's what was happening. Travion Henderson and Drake May
Oh
early
my
on,
gosh.
with their legs were just completely
Churning.
tearing up. They were tearing up the Bills run defense. So they go up 21-0 into the second quarter, and then the Bills finally score a touchdown in response with James Cook, and then the Patriots get a field goal to finish off the half. So it's 24-7, and you're thinking, wow, this Patriots team is just saucing. I was, so wrong. This is not even close. But then the Bills start coming back. They get the ball to start. They score. The Patriots go 3-and-out, and then they score again. 2 long drives, and then there was an interception thrown by Drake May. And this is when it really turned because, the Bills had pulled within, 3 points after being down 21-0 over the course of what was really like 15 minutes of the game. It wasn't even like it took an entire half. I mean, the Patriots 3-and-out and the interception allowed the Bills to score 3 straight touchdowns in the second half. And I thought that was very glaring for a Mike Vrabel defense. And in fact, it was 4 touchdowns. They went all the way from 21-0 to 35-31 because the Patriots did get a touchdown in the fourth
Yep.
quarter. Um, and it was actually looking like the Patriots were going to have a chance to come back because with less than 5 minutes remaining,